Hello everyone, I'm Laethas and welcome back again for a very, very special video. Today I have the introduction, the very beginning, the primordial beginnings of the Yuricast with myself as well as Aisha from Mama Loves Manga.
Hey y'all. I'm Aisha, aka Mama Loves Manga, and I talk about manga on the internet, and I do mom stuff. So, yeah.
Um, for for this first Yuricast, which we will be, doing periodically, probably monthly, almost certainly monthly.
Mm,
But maybe if it does well and people want to see more, maybe we bump up the frequency. It just kind of depends on interest and our schedules. But for
mm.
this very very first week, we are going to be talking about the recently released series from Viz Media. How do we relationship? Only the first volume is out. The second volume comes out in December, and so, since it's new and it's fun and we both liked it, we thought that it would be a perfect work to get started with. It's by Tamiful, that is the mangaka, and it is about the beginning of a relationship between two college girls. If you would like to sort
Mhm,
of give
mhm.
your opinions on what you thought this work would be initially, and I will follow
Right.
that one up.
Okay. So I initially I feel like my expectations were not super high. Like I figured it was going to be about two young women, two girls in college who didn't really know like what they were doing. I will say that I kind of thought it was going to have the whole like one thinks she's straight and maybe is questioning, and then the other one is super gay. um because that's like a common
Yeah, that's
trope
pretty
that you
common. The
see in
the
a lot
one
of
that's
things.
like is
Yeah.
definitely, and the other one's that's like I'm straight, but
Mhm.
I actually isn't.
Right, exactly. So I did kind of think that that was going to be part of this narrative. But I did assume that I was going to enjoy it. Just I mean, when they revealed the cover, I was like, that cover is really cute. Those girls are cute. Regardless of what are in it, I figured that I would enjoy it.
Yeah,
What about you? What did you
that
think?
was kind of the same for me. I was like, it's like
Mm.
I didn't really know a whole lot because at this point I'm like, it's a Yuri. I'm probably gonna buy it regardless
Mhm.
of what I read. I knew it was
Of course.
college girls, and so I was like, oh, that's interesting because we've been getting a lot of high school girl
Mhm.
Yuri. Though more recently more like office lady type stuff, which is fun. But this was
We
a
already know.
college. This was a college girl romance, so I thought it was going to be at least a unique take. But
Mhm.
yeah, and now I've read it. Well, the first volume, that is. So
Right.
what did you think, sort of the beginning? I knew, like at the very beginning, like the first chapter, it started, and I was like, all right, I'm probably gonna like this. This is this
Oh,
is gonna
yeah.
be fun.
Yes. So the way they met, I I was grinning so hard at that because so what are their names? Miwa and Sayako?
Yep. Would you
Sayako,
like to
I think is what
explain
their names are.
their first meeting?
Oh, yes. So like we said, they're college students and this is their first year, and they it's so funny. So it's like the first day of the beginning of their first year, and there's this moment of like, I call it it's called a meet cute in like romantic comedies. So like they bump into each other, and Miwa was holding, I guess, some like paper. Was she holding papers, or was Sayako holding the
I
papers?
think
One of
Sayaka,
them was okay.
the
Sayako
blonde
was holding the
hair or the brown
papers.
haired girl was like, I think they were both holding papers,
Right.
but one was like kind of bending down to pick
Maybe.
them up, and the other was in kind of
Right.
a squatting position.
Yes. And so Sayako, she was lower down, and when she looked up to see who she'd bumped into, she saw her boobs. She saw cleavage, and she was just like, "Oh, what exactly did she say? Because it was so funny. Oh, she said, "Whoa, that's some mad cleavage." When I
Oh.
read that, I laughed so hard because those are thoughts that run through my mind. I don't know if I would ever be like, well, me now, I would definitely be bold enough, but like back in college, absolutely not. I would not have been bold enough to like be like, whoa, that's some great like, ugh. It just was so funny. And I was like, Sayako, we are gonna be friends. I knew that I was gonna like her
And
immediately.
and then in the very next panel, you hear Miwa. She's like, "I can't believe we became friends after that." It's just
Right. Because they're so different. Like, it's so cute how different they are. Oh my gosh, their personalities are so different, and yet they work really hard to understand each other. I'm getting ahead of myself. Okay. Rein it in, Aisha. Yeah, I get really excited, but I really liked this first volume a lot. I don't know if you can tell.
yes.
Um
Maybe I'm projecting a bit, but I sense it.
yeah, I'm no, you no, it's really great. I loved that intro. I thought it gave it some it kind of let me know like, okay, this is going to be a more mature
Yeah,
story.
it set the
When I say
tone for
mature,
the
I don't
work to come.
yeah, it's yes. Yes, it set the tone and it did such a great job. Because sometimes there are series that are set in college and I'm using air quotes that y'all can't see. Um, but the
Fake
college
college.
students act yeah, and they act more like they act a lot younger than they are. I feel like this it just felt the way they talk, at least I've the English translator, in my opinion, did a great job of making them sound like teenager or not teenagers, college students. I'm sure the mangaka also in Japanese did an excellent job as well. I can't speak Japanese or read it, so I don't know. But it felt so college student, and I loved that. Ugh, I loved that.
Yes, you could definitely tell that it wasn't just like a high school, especially because it's not like the
Mhm.
parents are not just like all over the place. They're like really
Mhm.
kind of on their own. Like I think Miwa gets
Right.
like she's like in a college that's by her home, so she still lives at home,
Mhm.
which is fairly common. So like you see her mom like come pick her up,
Yeah.
and they go to Sayako's house where
Right.
her mom is, and that was
Yeah.
funny as well. They're just walking up the stairs.
The mom okay, like, the mom I loved her. Okay, let me just say that one thing I really liked about this and I guess, like, depending on who like, ev I can't speak for all queer people, I cannot, but, I do think that for me, it is really nice to see a story where, for the most part so far, there hasn't been any, like, pushback, that they've had to deal with, so it was, like, nice for, Miwa to go to Sayako's house, meet Sayako's mom, and her mom is just like, "Oh my gosh, thank you so much for, like, loving my daughter." You know what I mean? Like,
Yeah.
being with my
And as soon as
daughter
they're going up
and
the stairs, she's like,
ugh,
"Keep your hands to yourself up there."
yes. Yes, in my house, keep your hands to yourself, and I thought, "Wow, that is she sure she's not a black mom?" Because that's because, oh, that sounds like something that I've heard and will probably say when my kids get to that point. But, yeah, I loved how, like, even the friends, like, they're friends, which I guess we should mention
Yeah,
that,
men
there
exist in
is
this
this
world.
yeah, there are men like, that men do exist in this world, and, like, the relationship is not completely the main focus. It seems like we get a lot of their friends as well, and they are in a is it like a it's a band, like,
Yeah, it's like a
not a
band
high
club.
school marching band,
Yeah.
but yeah, like a band club,
They're
and
not like super professional. They're kind of like an amateur
right.
like group.
Mhm, mhm. And so that kind of adds something to the dynamic, and I like, in the beginning, before we know that we know Miwa is gay, I think, before
Yes.
that guy hits on her. Yeah. So one of the guys in the friend group, like, hits on her, and there's this funny moment where he doesn't even know her, and she's kinda like, you
You
don't
don't
know
know
me.
me.
How do you know you like me? And he's just like, I thought, but so that was like their dynamic is really fun. And I like their friend group a lot. And
I think
well,
Tsuruta
I'm
is the
jumping the
guy
gun
that like
again.
confessed to her. Um, and then
And
later, like he has this sort of super passive aggressive attitude towards Sayako, like all
he
the
does.
time. It's like, oh, you got rejected.
And everyone's like, everyone is like, "Are you still like not giving up on on Miwa?" And I I just really appreciated how when they did admit to their friends that they were dating, like all of the
They were
friends
just
were
like, yeah,
kind of
cool.
like, "Oh, okay, that's cool." And I know that for a lot of queer people, that is not a reality. I realize that, but it is a reality for a lot of for an another section of queer people. Like there are people out here who are on the LGBT plus spectrum, and they come out and their friends and family are like, okay, we've been new, like
Or they're
like
like,
it's
we
fine.
we knew, we knew a long time
Yeah,
ago.
exactly. So it's nice. I think that the other side of the story, the more tragic side, is important to see, but it's also important to see, I guess,
What would
less
we would,
stressful
yeah,
situations.
what we want for the future, basically.
Yes, yes.
It's like we don't want
It's
the
it's
future to be doom and gloom where everything is awful.
exactly. Exactly. Now, this is only the first volume, so we don't know if
Yeah.
there are going to be hurdles based around that, but so far
This volume
it's
seemed to.
nice to see
I'm
that.
sorry, I interrupted you. My bad.
No, 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 you're fine. You're fine. Go
Like
ahead.
this volume seemed more to focus just on their relationship, not so much like the queer
Mhm.
experience type of the deal. Though we did get
Right.
a little bit of that
Right.
in Sayako's backstory, where she's like, yeah,
Mhm,
I
mhm.
had this one thing and people were mean, but you know, it
Yeah.
infects sort of her current station because she's like, I don't like last time
Mhm,
things happened, people were mean, whereas now when like it
mhm.
was revealed, everyone's just like, you go, you do it, and everyone's like excited. So like
Right.
we get a little bit of that, but for the
Yeah,
most part, it just focuses on them and the relationship troubles, kind of
right.
not necessarily absent, I guess, of the queer experience, but it puts less of an emphasis on it, I would say.
Mhm. Yeah, and I mean, um, it there was that moment when Sayako, like when they got caught kissing by their friend, and she was like, "Oh, oh man, like I made a pass on her. That's so gross, right?" Like you could tell that
And Miwa was
I
upset about that.
And Miwa was upset, yeah, because she was like, "Why would you say it like that? You know, it's not gross. There's nothing wrong with it." So it did. I feel like there were little hints in this volume that we're probably going to get more. Um, I don't know, maybe more in-depth conversations, possibly about the queer experience. Maybe not. Maybe not. We may
Once the
not. But
relationship is sort of on steady ground and they're not like figuring each other out.
mhm, right.
Oh yeah, that's one
Um.
other thing. They hook up like immediately.
Oh yeah, they do.
It's not a will they won't they. It's a oh they're together
It's a
now.
they
Let's
were
watch the
yeah.
ride.
Oh, okay. That was something that I was thinking about. So in the beginning, whenever they pretty much are like, "Hey, we should date," because they both find out that they both find out that wait, how do I construct this sentence? They both have learned that the other one is gay, right? Is that what I'm trying to
Yes.
say? Yeah. So when they both find out about each other, it's I think Sayako is like, "Hey, since we're basically like since we're both gay, we should date," right? And at f- when I first read that, I thought, "Oh my gosh, really?" But then as I thought about it, it made me think about when I was in high school, even like college before I met my husband now. But like cuz we've been married since forever. But with when I was in high school especially, I went to high school in a very small town, Oklahoma, and there were like 5 black people and 3 of them were it was like me and my 2 brothers and the other 2 I wasn't related to. And I remember back then, like, Now mind you, I knew I was queer, but like this was back, you didn't come out. Like that was not a thing.
Well, yeah,
So
it's the South too, so like
yeah, and
big
it's the
yikes
South.
town.
So absolutely not. So like I wasn't trying to date girls, even if I was looking at them. So like when it came to like when we're at that age where you're wanting to start dating, all my friends would always try to like hook me up with the one of the two black guys that was at our school, not taking into account that maybe we don't even like each other, maybe we don't have anything in common, but because we both had some like that one thing in common, because we had the blackness in common, people thought we should date. And I thought, you know what, I can understand where Miwa and Sayako were coming from in that situation, because it's like they didn't know if anyone else, like they haven't met anyone else that's gay or
It's like
lesbian.
this may be my only
Um
chance type deal.
yeah, right. And I, in a way I did relate to that, because there was a time when not only other people were trying to hook me up with a person just because they were black, but I also kind of thought like that I had to
It's like
date
this
a
is something you
black
have
guy.
to do, like not necessarily because
Yeah,
you wanted, but because of like
right.
expectations.
Right. And so I was like, "Oh, I kind of relate to that." Like that feeling of like, well, I can't date anybody else, so we may as well. But I do like that, they have a friendship. Like it was like they at the very least, I mean they didn't they just met, but they did have like a spark of a friendship. There was a possibility.
Sayako
So,
admired her, you know.
mhm, boobies. Could I say boobies since this is on
Oh
your
yeah, no,
channel?
you're good. You can say, whatever you so desire.
But yeah, no, I really, that was one thing that I had been thinking of before we started recording, that I wanted to remember to mention, because I did very much relate to that. Um, and also, I don't know how you felt about all of like the scenes when they started to talk about like um intimacy, if you will. Like the conversation around that, I thought that was so realistic and
Yeah.
so, I don't know, like it
Like
was just
the first question that Mikun asks, like when Sayako tells him, "Yeah, I'm dating Miwa," his first question is like, "How do you do it?" Like, and she's like, "That's the first question you're gonna ask."
right, like instead of like, "Oh, wow, you're gay," he's like, "How do you do it?" Like, which is, I mean, fair. I thought that was so funny. There were so many good like, I don't know, there was so much in here that I really enjoyed. And even like their conversations, Sayako and Miwa, like the conversations that they had around it, and and with Sayako being very much like, "Hey, I wanted to jump on you like the first time I met you,"
Oh,
whereas
like in
Miwa is like,
the first like chapter, the
"Mhm,
bonus chapter at the end, where she's like, "I am gonna
yeah,"
have a pure, nice, fun relationship," and then like she's like, like you
immediately.
see the first picture, and she's like, "I have changed my mind."
Yes, she was like, "Oh, this girl's hot. Well, there goes that pact that I made with myself." And I really like that. First of all, I love seeing a female character who is, I mean, just I probably should hesitate to say this because this is your channel right now. But she's horny and it's fine.
Hey,
I like
hey, I
love to
you
see
can
it.
say whatever you want.
You can
Do not feel limited by my
freak
channel.
out. But I like that she is just very much like open with it. Like, "Yeah, this is how
And
I
she's not even the
feel."
most open character.
No. Right. Oh yeah, the friend. Oh my gosh,
Yeah,
I love,
I love
okay.
how like she goes to her friend for advice, and it's just like, so how do? And she's like, her friend starts talking. She's like, "You are not the person I should have asked for advice on this."
Right. That friend, I really hope that we see more from her.
She's fun.
She was very interesting. I liked her um because she feels like she she makes me think of people that I know in real life, people who like um who I have like, again, when I say come out, like, I mean, again, I've been married for 800 years, so something like my
You're not
sexuality
quite
was
that
never like,
old.
I mean, you don't know. Like, I can be a bit
Maybe like
higher.
700.
700. Okay, I'll give you that. I'm 800, but I look 700. But like when I first, like, I guess officially came out to my friend, she was kind of like that. She was just like, like she asked me questions and she was kind of confused, but then like also very supportive. Now, again, like I when I came out to this friend, I had been married already for a long time. So I just never really thought that it was that big of a deal. And my husband has known he's known since before we started dating. So like, um, I just never
It's
really
a
felt
point
the
of
need.
commonality.
Right. Exactly. Oh my gosh. Don't you're gonna make me go on a tangent because the amount of times that we have
We're
both
not going on a
just been
tangent. We're
out.
staying.
I know,
We're
I know,
staying.
no, I'm not doing it. Okay, going back. So anyway, the point is that I have a friend that kind of reminds me of her. And it's just nice. It's nice to see a friend who is, even if she doesn't fully understand, she's willing to learn. And I think that everyone needs a friend like that. So I really liked that. I just liked all of the
Yeah.
friend characters. It's very rare that we get a story where it is the main focus is on one relationship, but then all of the characters are really well fleshed out. At
All the
least so
characters are
far.
super supportive of them. They're
Mhm.
like all the other two friends are telling Sayako like how did you finagle your way into that one?
Right. I guess I love how they all really um like you said they support them, and it seems like both of them can go to their friends and talk without worrying that they're going to be like that what they're going to say is going to be thrown back at them later, or if they're gonna be like, "Oh my gosh, I'm gonna tell Sayako what Miwa said." You know what I mean? Like, they just seem
Yeah.
like genuine good friends that you can go and talk to, and they're like, "Hey, we love you both. We wanna see both of you win."
And one friend
So
wanted to repair their relationship. Maybe had a few ulterior motives here and there, but nonetheless, their goal was to repair the relationship.
yes, and and also watch them make out. That was such a good panel. I was like, "This is me.
And she
This
looks
is
so pleased with
me."
herself in that panel.
She did. It was so cute. Well, and she felt a little guilty because because then she called Miwa a pain. Well, I don't want to say she called
Yeah.
her that, but
She,
she
yeah, she was
asked
yeah.
Sayako, and I think that she was sort of trying to make up for that because she didn't mean it in the way that it came off, you know?
Yeah.
And that was a really that led to a really good conversation about how relationships, how like it's not perfect and your partner is gonna get on your nerves. Um, and that's something that I don't really see a whole lot in romance.
It's mostly like,
Because
"Oh,
it's
they fit
fiction.
perfectly together and there's no
Yeah.
problems at all." And
Mhm. Right, and I get that it's fiction and we want to escape, but I'm someone, I don't know, maybe I'm just basic and boring, but I love to read stories about the things that aren't perfect.
the mess.
Um, yes, I love to read about the messy stuff because relationships are messy. I know I made a joke about being married for 800 years, but I mean, we have been married for 14 years and we've been together for 16, almost 16. So that's a long time. I mean, that's a whole teenager, you know? And I can tell you for sure that being in a relationship is not always perfect. You're going to have ups and downs. And I like to read stuff like that, especially when it's Yuri because it's nice to see a Yuri relationship kind of humanized. Or does that make sense? Like
Yeah, most
it
of the
it
time
gives
it's
it like
like the
a
all-girls school
mhm,
and
mhm,
everything's,
mhm,
it's the will they won't they, and then they obviously
mhm.
will because they're perfect for each other and all of this.
Right.
And whereas this is
It
like they just kind of happen to get together, and then they're trying to
Hmm.
figure each other out like after the fact. So
Right. Yeah, and it just feels like, I don't know, it feels more grounded, I guess. And while I've said many, many times that people should not turn to manga for like relationship advice, never do that. It is still nice to read things that are a little bit more relatable, I guess, a little bit more realistic. Like I love the over the top, super, like escapist type things, but it's nice to see something a little more grounded and down to earth. Personally, I don't.
yeah, you can only read too many fantastical stories before you're like, this is getting old. I need something else.
Mhm. Yes. No, I totally agree. Speaking of real kind of
Is
so
this
one of
is
my
this a
favorite.
tangent?
No, no, well, I don't think so. So I really liked the part where they were going, to the Love Motel, like,
The
the
first
second
time or the
well,
second time?
the second time after
Okay.
when Miwa had, when she had reserved one. I thought that was so cute. It made me think this is a short tangent, I promise. It just made me think of whenever Matt and we went to Japan in 2018. We didn't get to do this, but he was going to book us a room in a love motel just to just to see, but we didn't get to do it, and so it made me sad, but yeah,
The
that
whole
was a
trip has been
tangent,
ruined.
but I was sad. I was like, "I really want to stay in a love motel because I read so much, manga and watch so much, like, I don't know, Korean dramas and stuff, and love motel? Big thing." But no, I really liked that love motel scene when they,
She
just the
turns
way
on the
that Miwa was.
TV.
Yeah, yes. 'Cause they were so nervous, and I just felt, well, she was nervous. Sayako was like, "I'm ready to go," and Miwa was like, "I don't," and that also felt very genuine and realistic. Because honestly, like, I don't know anyone, um, whose first time was not awkward. Like, I mean, I'm sure there's somebody out there who would say that, but I feel like they're lying. Everyone's first time is awkward. Don't try to lie to me. I am 34. I know things. Okay. Like, but yeah, no, I thought that was a really cute scene. And I loved how that chapter ended. Um, Part of me was like, I kind of wish that had been a little bit more smutty. I would have liked to see, but also I mean, the rating is what, like,
I
older
think it's older
teens,
teen.
so yeah, I mean, it makes sense that they didn't show everything. They didn't show
They
anything
they show.
really,
I mean,
which,
they showed enough to give you an idea as to what is
yeah, like, we
transpiring.
knew what was happening. Yeah, we knew what was happening, but, I wanted to see more, but it's fine. It's fine. I appreciate it. Oh, wait, okay. Going back to the one friend, the funny friend that I like, there was this, like, when she was plotting to try to, like, mend their little tiff or whatever, did you catch that she was like,
Yep. And the guy was just like, "Can you please not go
"Can
on
you?"
tirades while we're doing this? It's really weird."
That, like, took me out because I was not expecting that, like, at all, and so seeing her on top of him, I was just like, "Oh my gosh, girl, like, what are you doing?" And I was really, I don't know, so many things in here really did set that tone. Like, this is, yes, they are college students, but it reminds us that college students are adults. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And I really appreciated that because, man, that it just took me back. I was like, yep, that was me in college. It felt so, I loved it. Like, oh, I
Miwa
loved
went
it.
to go ask her. She's like, "So about when in the relationship should things start to like
Hmm.
get physical?" And she's like, "Well, I've not been in a relationship and things have already gotten that far." So she's like, "It."
Right. She's like, "Yeah, I've done it, like, immediately," which I'm like, "Yes, girl. Get get your life, yes." Like, oh my god, like, I just ugh. And I know I already said this, but I really do like all of the characters. They have very distinct personalities, but they don't feel, like, one-dimensional,
Yeah.
you know? At least not I mean, it's just the first
Yeah.
volume,
They weren't
so
really there a whole lot because it was mostly just Sayako and
mhm.
Miwa. So maybe
Right,
that will change,
exactly.
but you know, they felt like
Mhm.
people. They weren't just kind of there.
Yeah.
Mikun
Yeah,
comes
they
back
felt like
to
people.
get his umbrella and he's like, "Oh, hi guys. I'm just gonna leave now. You two seem
That
like
was
you're enjoying yourselves."
right, he's like, "I interrupted," and that was a I just there's so many scenes. Oh, there was one scene where they went to do karaoke, and I guess, like, Sayako had said that Miwa could sing, and she didn't know, like, I was like, "Girl, you barely know her, you don't know if she can sing," and that scene was really cute, just the way they acted. I don't like, they just felt like real friends.
Yeah.
It didn't feel forced. And I think that the mangaka said at the end that, like, she at this point, everything is kind of just happening, like, it feels like these characters are real, and I get that. I got that vibe, like, it felt like it feels like these characters live in her head, like, they live there, they are living, and, I definitely think she's done an excellent job of, giving us dimensions, giving us, these people are people and they aren't perfect, and
They're
this
not just
relationship.
pieces of paper that have been stuck into the story to just kind of
Right.
exist.
Yes. And I don't know, I we did get some flashbacks for Sayako's
Yeah.
like there's some
Not a
hints.
whole lot, just like
Yeah.
a few panels.
Right. And so I'm very, very, very curious about that. Like
I'm
just
not
because
even
there were
sure
some.
if that's gonna come up very much again because it
You
seemed
don't
like
think
they
so?
they moved. I don't. I'm not entirely sure. I wouldn't
Mhm.
like if I would go. It's like a coin flip. I would say like I'm not gonna put money on like that
Mhm.
comes up a lot or that doesn't come up like hardly at all anymore. But for to
Right.
me, it feels like the story's kind of heading in the direction of like these characters are gonna have issues in their relationship, and so like how are
Mhm.
they gonna work through them? I guess is where I think it's
Right.
going.
Yeah. Um that I do agree with that. I feel like that's because I mean the mangaka even said that she wanted to write a story with those. She wanted to have characters that basically were already in a relationship and then you get to see the ups and downs of the relationship. But I don't know, I kind of think that we might get a little glimpse into their past. I don't know because
Yeah,
even
I think it's
Miwa,
possible. I'm not gonna say that it
yeah.
won't happen. I just think that
Mhm.
it's more of a future directed story. Maybe we'll see it if it like affects the relationship. We might see some more
Right,
flashbacks, but I don't think the story's gonna
right.
put too much focus on it, if that makes sense.
Right. That does make sense. I'm I'm hoping that we don't get one of those typical like person from the past shows up to
Oh,
but
I know.
I don't know like
Unfortunately.
I didn't get any hints of that, but it's possible. Es posible. And I'm just like I don't I hope we don't get something like that just because that is a trope that well, when done well, it can be done well. Have I seen it done well?
Very
Uh,
rarely.
I don't think I personally have seen it done, at least not to my
There are
liking.
parts where it's like stories that have done it to where it's like
Mm,
inoffensive, but like
yeah, right. I don't know. I don't want this relationship to be tainted with that because I really do like them together. I like I don't know. I like how they started out as sort of friends, like they just met, but
super brief
there's a
acquaintances
yeah, it's like super brief
with
acquaintances.
horrible introductions.
With- so true. But I mean, like I feel like it had to move pretty quickly in order to get to the part that the artist wanted to get
Yeah.
to, which I think
And it
that
felt
yeah, at the
organic
end
too. It didn't
it
feel
did,
like
yeah.
forced.
Right. I mean, everything made sense. And I think the mangaka, even at the end, there is like, oh yeah, it's called the How Do We Relationship Commentary Track comic at the end. And so
Oh
like
yeah.
Sayako and Miwa are like it's like they are going back and looking at the volume and like commenting on it, and it's so funny because they're both kind of like, yeah, this moved it moved really fast. Like this happened really soon. Like Mia was like, wow, this happened fast and I was shocked. And it was just funny that I mean there's some acknowledgement in that, and
Aw,
um
don't get mad. Come on. Aw, look here near the end. Mima, you're so sexy.
right. That was
Oh,
so cute. And that gave us a little bit more of a glimpse into their dynamic because I really like their dynamic. I find that at least for me, I mean, we're human beings are complicated and multifaceted and all that stuff. So I found myself relating to both of them in a lot of ways. Like, um, I really related to Sayako loving boobies like that. That's a thing. Like I was like, yes, girl, I get it. Um, but I also really related to Miwa and her sort of I guess like
no
she's
nonsense, I guess?
yeah, she's very no nonsense and kind of like reserved in some ways. Which believe it or not, despite the fact that, I devour all the hentai, like I am pretty reserved. I mean, there's a reason why I've been with the same person for 1,000 years.
The
I'm
degeneracy
getting
stays up in the head, you gotta keep it locked away.
exactly, exactly. I can only let it out for certain things, just but it's like I really related to Miwa in a lot of ways, and I liked their dynamic, but I liked that they took care of each other. Like the way that when they were upset, they sat down and they talked about it, even if it was hard to talk about it.
And the
And
mangaka
it
did a really good job at showing like
mm,
emotions for their facial expressions. Like she did a really good
yes.
job with that.
Which actually, that was one thing that I wanted to mention is that I really like the art in this. I think the art is I don't like I don't want to say that it's like just exceptional, but it is stylized enough to where
Yes.
like if I saw her work somewhere, well, I say her, I shouldn't say her. I'm not sure what the mangaka's gender is, but um I feel like if I saw this art somewhere, like I would know that it's
Yeah.
this
It
mangaka.
she uses a lot of like box panels. She doesn't do like
Mhm.
the free flowing or like the
Mhm.
wacky angles, and it seems pretty standard, just like box here, box here, box, box, and it's
Yes.
very
Mhm.
distinct. Not that like it's what's normal, it's distinctive. Like that's not something you typically see, or at least not now.
Right. Yeah, exactly. And it yeah, I really appreciate like um I don't expect every mangaka to have just like mind-blowingly gorgeous, detailed art styles, but I do like whenever there is something distinct about it um so that I can tell the difference between it and another story or another series without having to look at the name. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
And I think she did a good job with that. And I also feel like the art style works really well with the story.
Yeah. It's contemporary
Miwa's
romantic comedy. You're not going to see like
yes.
these giant dragons and amazing like castle like fortifications all over the
Yes.
place.
Yes, exactly, exactly. It's simple enough. It's simple, but it gives us enough detail. Like again, like you said, the facial expressions are so well done. And I really appreciate that. Also, Miwa's outfits, everything. Her style, I loved it. I absolutely love her style. I know you I'm sure you know me well enough, I mean, to know that I have a thing for earrings. Everyone knows that I have a thing for earrings, and I loved seeing all the
He
different
has a lot
earrings
of
that Noah was.
earrings.
Oh my gosh. Probably not as many as I have, but I mean, not very many people do, which is fair, but I loved seeing, like, she has a different pair of earrings in almost every chapter, and I love that, just, the
Which
fashion,
makes
the
sense for her gift.
style. Yes, and also the gift was that was a sweet gift. I loved that, and I do feel like Sayako also really liked them. She seemed so, like, oh, she seemed into it. They're so cute. I just love them. Oh my gosh. Yeah, I I don't know if I have anything negative to say about this. Do you have any negative?
I'm sorry, I didn't hear that.
Oh, sorry. Do you have anything to like negative to say about this?
I don't think so.
I don't I don't either. I
I think it was really
genuinely
solid. Like it wasn't. I mean, I guess
yeah.
a negative thing is in like it didn't like blow my mind, but that's not really a negative. Like
Right.
that's something that happens so infrequently that like you
Mhm.
know you come upon that every now and then.
Right. Yeah, well, and it's like this isn't something I didn't go into it expecting for it to blow my mind. Like I went, I think I went into it like I said in the beginning, I went into it expecting it to be something that like familiar, I guess is the word. I went into it expecting it to be familiar, and it gave me that like familiar coziness. Um, I think what stays out is like the couple, the relationship. It's very character. Um, Obviously, it's character driven because it's like would you say it's a slice of life, kind
Yes.
of? Yeah. So of course it's character driven, but I don't know, like, the characters have enough depth, that it's keeping me I'm curious to
And this
see.
is just the first volume.
Yeah, exactly, and I have very high hopes. I'm trying to keep my expectations low, but it's really hard because I did enjoy
It
this
was
first
really good.
volume. Yeah, like, I can't really think of anything that I hated, like, you know, a big thing that people talk about in this space is representation. And I personally feel like this feels like a well done, like it feels like mangaka did her
Her due
best to,
diligence
yes. Um
feels very well
I'm
rounded.
it does. It doesn't feel like it doesn't feel like these characters are being like, and I know I have to be careful saying the word like fetishized, but like it feels like she did what she had to do in order to give us, you know, a realistic a realistic-ish story when it I mean, it is fiction. But yeah, it just nothing made me feel uncomfortable or like like I don't know, like being lesbian was being made fun of. Even like just the fact that none of the supporting characters so far have been hateful. It's just refreshing because I've read a lot of like BL and things like that where there's always somebody who has to be homophobic just blatantly, and I'm just like, really? Even in my fiction I got to read this. So it was nice. It was nice to not have to see that, which again, it's the first volume. We don't know,
Things could
but
change. That like
yeah,
I
I
guess
think.
that's a pretty good segue into like the future, like where we think this is going.
Mm,
Like it is only the first volume, and I'm wondering like how much more could we get? Cause
mm,
it feels like they've already gotten over a big hurdle, and so I'm kind of
mhm,
wondering what else is there for them to sort of triumph over, if it's going to be more of like just a not really slapstick comedy, but that style,
yeah,
like not like you like that like quick funny jokes panel to panel, but not
mhm,
like just
mhm.
slapstick in that someone gets hurt or wacky nonsense.
Right. I mean, well, that's kind of why I wonder if we're not going to get that trope of someone from the past coming into
Sayako and her
play.
48
Um,
boyfriends and
right, or something like that. Or I mean, they may have to deal with some homophobia or um I mean, I don't know, like
maybe we'll see the breakup and then the get back together. I don't think I've seen that one.
right, right. Yeah, and I mean that could definitely be a thing uh, or maybe it could end up just being like a daily life like let's just see these two cute girls being cute. I kind of hope that it doesn't go that way. Like I would be totally fine with I don't want to say more drama. I mean, we know I love drama, but I don't want to say that I need more drama, but just I wouldn't mind seeing them. Ooh, that sounds bad. I was gonna say I wouldn't mind seeing them struggle a little bit. That sounds creepy.
I
I
want
don't
to see them in pain.
like, but I mean, I guess like I try to think about things that a college aged couple, like a well, college age, a couple that's in college, like what kind of struggles? I don't know. It's been so long since I was in college and dating. I can't and also my situation was very different from theirs. So I don't know. Like I don't know what other hurdles they could
You mean you
go
didn't meet
through.
your husband by, saying he has mad cleavage?
And he didn't say that to me either. I promised myself I wasn't gonna make fun of myself anymore, so I'm not gonna not gonna continue that joke. But I mean, no, like I don't know. I can't really I can't imagine that they have a whole lot of other hurdles that they would need to get over because they've already they've already gone past the intimacy thing because they've done it. Um,
Presumably.
uh, yeah, I mean, yeah.
She asked to have the lights turned out, so it's highly likely, unless we're gonna get the start of the second volume and then wacky craziness happens, but I find that unlikely.
Right. Yeah, I mean, that would be but
That would be a
it could
that would
happen.
be a big tease, is what that would
It
be.
really would. I mean, I'd be annoyed, but I'd still keep reading just off the hope of getting to see it happen because I want it to happen. I think maybe they might have like I don't know, like a hurdle of well, they've already had the whole like their schedules being off sort of hurdle.
Yeah, so it's not like
So
they're gonna vanish from the other person's classes or whatever.
right. I mean, the only other thing I could think of is oh,
Band
no,
troubles?
that's yeah, maybe like yeah. Um, that's something that maybe could happen or just friend group troubles in general, maybe.
Yeah,
Um,
possible.
or maybe the or maybe we end up getting a little bit more of the friends. Like that
We see like
could
more
be
of
a
their stories.
possibility. Yeah. Like, I don't see why not. I would be fine with that to see different types of couples in here because, like, I don't know. That it may just be about these two, but when I think of how do we relationship, it could be kind of fun to see different, different relationships, different
Yeah,
couples, all trying to figure out how to relationship.
I could see
So
that.
that could be, yeah. Like, and like I said, I really liked what we got of the supporting characters so far. I wouldn't mind seeing more. Oh, you know what else?
Oh,
So,
revelations?
uh, yeah, Miwa has met Sayako's mom, but do we know if Miwa has
Oh,
come out to her family yet?
I don't
I don't
think
think we
so.
do.
I
I
don't
don't
think she
think that's
has.
mentioned. So that's bet me.
I
Bet me right now.
that's
What are you
pro
gonna bet me? Are you gonna bet me
that will
like
probably happen. Now that you mention it, I'm thinking
uh
that's
yeah,
that's probably gonna be in there. Huh.
that's
I wasn't
definitely
even
gonna
thinking of that.
100%. Right? I think that you should bet me and if I win Summer Williams gets to, I don't know, I'll have to think about it. She gets like an extra willpower or something.
What, you're vanishing willpower? Atlas likes you by one more point.
Yes. There we go. That's the bet. And people listening are like, what the heck are they talking about? We're nerds and we play Vampire the Masquerade together with a group of awesome people. And Summer Williams is my character.
She had a
And
rough one last session.
she really did. She was going through it. So yeah, that's what we're gonna. When does the second volume come out?
The second volume comes out in
December.
December. It's a ways away. It's a long time. It's too long.
Yeah, that is a long time. Hmm. I don't know. Anyway, the point is, I feel like I'm right, and we may not even get that happening in volume two, though.
Yeah.
Do we even know how many volumes this is supposed to be?
I don't know how many it's supposed to be, but I think
Mm,
currently there are either 3 or 4 are out in Japan.
okay, in Japan. Um, that seems like that
And
seems
this
like a
volume was pretty
lot.
long. Like, it was very wordy, so I'm
Yeah.
like, how much, like, what's gonna happen?
Yeah, that really seems like a lot for a kind of slice of lifey story. Hmm. You know what? I'm just gonna say I'm calling it right now. It is recorded. I'm saying it. There's gonna be some like tension with Miwa coming out to her family. It's
Probably.
gonna happen. Like
Yeah.
it has to.
And
I
we've
mean, that's what
never
I want
even
it to.
we've seen her mom. We haven't seen her dad yet.
No, we don't even know anything about like does he exist? Is he alive? Like we know nothing. So there's definitely room for us to get to know these characters more.
Or maybe
Um
the struggle is them moving in together and figuring out that once you live with someone, it's a whole different ball game.
oh, that's also yeah, that's also another thing because Miwa did say that she would like to live on her own.
Sayaka's
Um,
100% a
'Cause
slob, and Miwa is definitely
oh
not.
gosh, it's so obvious. Just when just the fact that Miwa was like, "Can you please dress up for our dates?" So, I mean, it would, honestly, there's a lot of things. There are a lot of things that could happen, and I
I want to know
I
what's going
really
to
look
happen.
forward to
I'm
it.
interested.
Yes, I look forward to it because this was a very solid first volume. I mean, especially considering that I went into it thinking that it was going to have that basic like, "Oh, I'm straight, but I'm actually not straight," like or I'm only gay for you. That trope. It surprised me, and it surprised me with how earnest it is. It I don't know, I this was nice. This was really nice.
It was a breath of
I
fresh air
enjoyed
from
it.
all the high
Mhm,
school,
mhm.
all girls schools. Men are non
Oh
existent in
yeah.
this world.
Right. Right. And it's just a phase thing. Like this is not just a phase. They know they like that they are both lesbian and but they're just they're feeling each other out, trying to decide like do we really love each other or is it just because it's convenient or whatever. And
Yeah,
I'm really excited to go on this journey with them. Um but I also really hope that we get more from the friends because I really
yeah.
like them too.
Especially the blonde haired girl. She seems like a lot of fun.
Yeah, she seems fun. She's low key. Again, I related to so many I related to so many of these characters and I definitely she was me in college. Um or I was her, I should say, in college. I was definitely I was fun. I was fun. And you can ask anyone who went to college with me that still talks to me. I was fun. So she
Well,
and I would be friends.
on that note, um, we thought it was really good. And if you are
Mhm.
interested in a rom com or a Yuri, especially if you're into Yuri, go check this one out. It's
Mm,
nice, especially because it's not just Seven Seas that's releasing them. We're getting sort of a diverse array of publishers putting them out. This one from Viz
yes.
Media, so the volume is only like $10. It's as just about as cheap as you can get for a manga volume, unless you're buying used. So
Hmm. Yep, I agree. And I do want to add that I was so surprised that this was a Viz release. I don't know why I was surprised. But I was pleasantly surprised. It was done well. I'm just
yes,
throwing that out there. I was surprised. So, um, I don't think I have anything else to say about it other than y'all should read
yeah, it's
it.
really good. Volume's coming out very slow though. That's a little bit of downside, but
Hmm.
that's not the story's
Yeah,
problem. You know, it's not the
right.
not the
That's
mangaka's fault.
right. Oof.
But yeah, that is that is the first month of the Yuricast. Let us know what you thought.
Yay.
So the way this is gonna work, as we said, it's gonna be monthly. I think the
Hmm.
the third. Ooh, maybe not. Never mind. Third or fourth Friday of the month, depending on when we end up recording things. It could be third or fourth.
Right.
Um, but it's gonna be monthly. It's gonna switch channels. So
Hmm.
this month it is on my channel, and the next month it
Yes.
is going to be on Aisha's channel. Mama loves manga.
Yes. Yes, yes, yes. And speaking of the next one, I personally am really excited about this because we decided that we are going to talk about a visual novel. And this is going to be my first, yeah, this is going to be my first visual novel. And it is called Summer's End Hong Kong 1986, which is the year that I was born. And so I have to play it. I'm very excited. It's obviously a Yuri VN, and
It's the Yuri cast. We
I'm
gotta,
very excited. Yes, we got to stay on topic, So I'm very excited to do this. I think it's going to be very interesting because it'll be something different for me, and it'll be something different on my channel too because I don't think I've ever talked about anything other than manga on on my channel. So this will be fun. I'm excited.
And if you would like to, play along, see our thoughts, and then share them in the comments, it's on Steam.
Mm,
So, if you have a laptop and an internet connection, you can download Steam and play it yourself. I think it's $15 or $20. I can't remember exactly how much it
mm,
is, but it's not super expensive, and it's a good
mhm.
time.
Yeah, I'm really excited. And you've spoken so highly of it. I'm like, okay, I'm gonna play it. I'm gonna let you know what I think.
But you will hear our thoughts in about a month's time. um, but
Mm,
until then, uh, this is the first episode of the Yuricast uploaded on my channel. Next episode is uploaded on Aisha's channel. Do be sure to subscribe to both of us and follow both of us on Twitter. Also, how did you like How Do We relationship? Did you enjoy it? Leave those thoughts down there in the comments below. Yeah, and also, how do you guys like the Yuricast? Do you want to see it? I guess it's the first episode. So you don't know all that's in store, but there's some spicy stuff coming down the line.
oh yeah. We can't wait. So definitely, yeah, let us know what you think. Let us know if you all want us to keep doing this. Because I mean, honestly, like we're friends behind the scenes, so we can just talk about the stuff that we read with each other. And I mean, so like if y'all like this, let us know so we can keep doing this.
It's fun to talk
Um,
about it and hear your guys' reactions as well.
yeah.
But yeah, thank you guys so much for watching this episode, this first episode, this beginning of a new, blossoming, I guess, because it's the Yuri cast. But
That was good.
yes, thank you guys so much for watching. Leave your comments down there. Like and share the video, and share with your friends that are interested in Yuri. See if they'd be interested in a podcast that talks nonstop about the wondrousness that is Yuri and girls' love. Do you have anything you would like
Yay.
to add to the outro here?
No, just thank y'all for listening. Um, and that's it.
All right. Thank you guys so much. Have a nice day, night, whenever it is you're watching this. But see you guys next month for Summer's End Hong Kong, 1986. Goodbye.
Hey, bye.